lights, camera, and feel that metal tremble in your palm. Because these three forgotten warriors of American pocket change are about to tell you a story the history books left in the dust. First, the 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar. Silver, scorned, and carried by a woman who got arrested just for voting. Then, the 2000 P. Sacagawea from Philadelphia, golden radiant, a teenage mother with a baby on her back, walking 8,000 miles through frozen hell. And finally, her Denver twin, the 2000 D, struck in the shadow of the Rockies, carrying the same eagle, the same courage, but hiding a secret, wild errors, Cheerios boxes, and $1 million mystery. 3 coins. 2 women. 1 impossible question. Why did America keep failing the very heroines it carved into its currency? Stay tuned, because we're about to flip these treasures over and unearth the drama, the tragedy, and the quiet fire of liberty that refuses to be spent. Your pocket change will never look the same again. Let's start. Coin number 1. Settle in, because this little golden coin you're holding isn't just change. It's a dramatic, deeply moving piece of American history, struck at the Denver Mint in the unforgettable year 2000. It carries the face of a young Shoshone mother, Sacagawea, with her tiny infant son peeking over her shoulder. This wasn't just any coin release. It was meant to be a grand, golden redemption after the failure of the silver-toned Susan B. Anthony dollar. The U.S. Mint minted over 1.2 billion of these golden dollars in 2000 alone, praying the public would finally embrace a dollar coin. But here's where the quiet tragedy begins. The people just wouldn't let go of their paper dollar bills. By 2002, this beautiful coin was yanked from general circulation, becoming a ghost in the pocket. Look closely at the obverse, the head side. That mesmerizing portrait of Sacagawea is the work of the legendary sculptor Glenna Goodacre, and it breaks every numismatic rule in the book. For the first time, a U.S. coin features a woman looking directly at you, not off into a mythological distance. And because no authentic portrait of the real Sacagawea existed, Goodacre cast a present-day Shoshone College student, Randy L. Hidao Teton, bringing a profound, authentic presence to the medal. This isn't some generic Indian princess. This is the real, fierce spirit of a 16-year-old girl who changed the course of the American frontier. Now flip this treasure over to the reverse, and you'll see a bald eagle soaring in full, powerful flight, encircled by exactly 17 stars. Those are the 17 states of the Union at the moment the real Lewis and Clark expedition began its legendary journey in 1804. This eagle represents the raw, unexplored wilderness of the Louisiana Purchase. But here's a twist that could make your heart race. If your coin looks a little off, and the eagle's tail feathers are weirdly flat or seem wounded, congratulations. You might be holding a rare wounded eagle error variety, a mint mistake that turns this $1 coin into a prized collectible sought after by serious error enthusiasts. But the real soul of this coin lies in the story of the woman it honors. Just imagine Sacagawea in 1805. She's only 16 years old, 6 months pregnant, and she's the only woman, carrying her infant son, Jean-Baptiste, on her back in a cradleboard, on an 8,000-mile trek across unmapped, deadly American wilderness. This child was born right in the middle of the frozen winter at Fort Mandan, with Meriwether Lewis himself helping the delivery by mixing a rattlesnake rattle with water to speed the birth. But wait, there's more. Just weeks after giving birth, William Clark, the co-leader of the expedition, gave the baby the nickname Pomp, or Pompey. Even Clark was so attached that he later offered to raise the child as his own son. Now, let's talk about the secret life of that tiny little baby on the coin. The real Jean-Baptiste didn't just vanish into history. After the expedition, Clark paid for his formal education. He grew up to be a true global adventurer, becoming fluent in multiple languages, and even serving as a mayor in California during the gold rush. So every time you see that bundled child on the coin, you're looking at the beginning of an incredible, nearly unbelievable life story. If you want to dive deep into the drama of this specific minting, just look for the tiny D right under the date. That D is the battle scar of the Denver Mint, which alone produced a staggering 518,916,000 of these coins in 2000. The Mint was so optimistic it installed brand new bulk bagging machines, ready to churn out money for a coin-hungry public. But the real collector drama lies in the famed Millennium Set. Out of those 500 million coins, Only 75,000 were hand-selected and specially burnished by the mint to be included in a special set alongside a silver eagle and a $1 bill. In flawless, proof-like condition today, that 2000D Millennium coin can sell for upwards of $7,000. Finally, the greatest plot twist in modern numismatic history, the Cheerios dollar. To launch the coin, the U.S. Mint partnered with General Mills and hid 5,500 Sacagawea dollars inside boxes of Cheerios in early 2000. Everyone thought they were just regular dollars. But 5 years later, collectors discovered the horrifying and exciting truth. The eagles on those specific cereal box dollars had highly detailed, intricate tail feathers because they were minted with a prototype reverse die that was never supposed to go out. To date, only a few dozen of those Cheerios dollars have been found, and those little mistake coins now trade for tens of thousands of dollars. The 2000D Sacagawea dollar is the ultimate underdog of American currency. It's a coin that celebrates a teenage refugee mother who carried her baby across a continent, yet it was rejected by the same country that turned her into a legend. It is worth exactly $1, yet it can also be a $7,000 treasure hidden in your old change jar. It is a masterpiece of art, a heartbreaking tale of survival, and a wild goose chase for a rare mint error, all contained in a warm, golden circle that proudly declares, "In God we trust." Hold it close and remember, happiness is a warm coin, and this one has seen more adventure than you or I ever will. Red Heart. Stay tuned and please subscribe to my channel. Coin number 2. Listen close, because this little silver coin holds a story bigger than its size. A story of revolution, of a woman who refused to take no for an answer, and of a nation trying to find its footing in the stars. You're holding a 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar, and honey, it's not just pocket change. It's a piece of American fire, struck at the Philadelphia Mint in a year when disco was dying. Gas lines were stretching around blocks, and the world was still dizzy from watching Neil Armstrong take that one giant leap. This coin was supposed to be the future, a sleek, modern dollar that didn't feel like a heavy relic. But oh, the drama it walked into. Look at her face, really look. That's Susan B. Anthony's staring right through you, and she is not here to ask for permission. Born in 1820, she spent 50 years chaining herself to the fight for women's suffrage, getting arrested just for voting, and never living to see the 19th Amendment pass in 1920. So when the U.S. Mint decided in 1978 to finally put a real woman, not an allegorical Lady Liberty, on a circulating coin, they chose Anthony. And baby, that was a roar. The front of your $1,979 carries her proud, no-nonsense portrait with the word liberty curling above her head like a crown she earned in blood and speeches. Right beside it, "In God We Trust," whispers through the metal as if the heavens themselves were watching over her crusade. Now flip this coin over and prepare for a cosmic whiplash. The reverse side doesn't show a factory or a courtroom. It shows an eagle landing on the moon. Yes, the moon. That's the Apollo 11 mission patch immortalized in silver-toned clad, with an eagle clutching an olive branch, hovering above the lunar surface while Earth watches from the distance. United States of America arcs above, and E pluribus unum curls below, out of many one. It's a bizarre, beautiful marriage. The suffragist who fought for the vote and the astronauts who reached for the sky, all on the same humble dollar. Because in America, we put a woman who was arrested for demanding equality on one side, and a spaceship that proved we could touch heaven on the other. That's the poetry they don't teach in textbooks. But here's where the drama gets deliciously tragic. This coin was doomed from the moment it dropped. The Susan B. Anthony dollar is the same size as a quarter, with a plain edge and an 11-sided inner border that nobody noticed. People hated it. Vending machines rejected it. Cashiers tossed it back like bad candy. By 1981, the mint gave up and stopped making them for circulation. Your 1979 P, that P under Anthony's shoulder meaning Philadelphia Mint, is a survivor of that chaos. Over 360 million were struck that first year, so it's not rare, but oh, the vibe is priceless. Collectors today hunt for certain varieties. The near date versus far date, the wide rim, that makes her portrait look bolder. Grab a magnifying glass and check if the date sits close to the rim. If it's the wide rim version, you've got a coin that whispers, "I'm special," in a very quiet, very nerdy way. Imagine being Susan B. Anthony in coin form, arriving with all that symbolic weight, only to be treated like a mistake. The public called it the Carter Quarter, after President Jimmy Carter, who approved it. People hoarded them, then dumped them. The mint tried again in 1999, but by then, the Anthony dollar was a ghost, only made for collectors. Yet here's the soft, dramatic twist. This coin taught America a lesson. Without its failure, we might never have gotten the golden Sacagawea dollar, or the presidential dollars, or the new American women quarters rolling out today. Your 1979p is the martyr that paved the road. And now, decades later, when you slide it out of an old purse or a dusty drawer, you're touching a moment when the country tried to honor two kinds of giants, one who fought for our rights on earth, and one who flew us to the stars. Feel the weight of it. Not heavy, not light, just under 9 grams of copper-nickel clad over a pure copper core. That's the composition of every Susan B. Anthony dollar. 91.67% copper, 8.33% nickel, but the outside looks like silver moonlight. Run your thumb over her hair, over the eagle's wings. This coin has been ignored, rejected, laughed at, and yet it never stopped being legal tender. You could walk into any store today and spend it for $1. But please don't, because what you really have is a conversation starter, a time machine, and a tiny bronze medal for a woman who once said, "I have given my life to a principle." That principle is stamped right there, in the medal forever. So here's your takeaway, softly and dramatically. The 1979p Susan B. Anthony dollar is not rare, but it is rare in spirit. It's the underdog of American coinage, the forgotten warrior, the first real woman on a U.S. circulating coin who got laughed out of vending machines. But 30 years after its failure, the mint finally released a special Anthony coin set, and people wept, actually wept, over what she represented. You want viral? Viral is a coin that was hated so much it became legendary. Viral is a suffragist sharing a moon landing with an eagle. Keep this dollar close. Show it to someone who thinks they know history. And whisper, this is what happens when a woman fights for her place, and then gets launched into space. God bless America, and God bless Susan B. Anthony. Coin number 3. Close your eyes for just a second, and imagine a coin so golden it looks like a sliver of autumn sunlight, heavy with the weight of a journey that changed the world. Now open them. You're holding a 2000p Sacagawea dollar, struck at the Philadelphia Mint in a year when the world held its breath for Y2K, when the Twin Towers still stood, and when America decided to try again, after the Susan B. Anthony disaster, to give a woman a place in your pocket. But this time, they didn't choose a suffragist. They chose a teenager. A young Shoshone girl who, with a baby strapped to her back, walked thousands of miles across unmapped hell and frozen mountains. Her name was Sacagawea, and honey, this coin doesn't just jingle, it sings a song of survival. Let's travel back to 1804. Meriwether Lewis and William Clark are assembling the Corps of Discovery to cross the newly purchased Louisiana Territory, all the way to the Pacific. They need interpreters, guides, and someone who can negotiate with native tribes. Enter Sacagawea, barely 16, pregnant, and already stolen from her people by Hidatsa raiders. She's married to a French-Canadian trader named Toussaint Charbonneau, who joins the expedition mainly because she comes along. And what does she do? She saves their supplies when a boat capsizes, calmly, without losing a single item, while the men panic. She finds edible roots, identifies medicinal plants, and most famously, reunites with her own Shoshone brother, which lets the expedition by horses to cross the Rockies. All with her infant son, Jean-Baptiste, riding on her back. That baby is on this coin too. Look closely. He's nestled against her, wrapped in a robe, staring out at history. Now flip this 2000p dollar to the reverse, and you'll see an eagle in flight, soaring, powerful, with outstretched wings that seem to push against the golden sky. The words United States of America and $1 frame the bird, but there's no "In God We Trust" on this side. It's on the front, left of Sacagawea. This eagle is not the sharp, angular Apollo moon eagle of the Anthony dollar. This one is soft, almost airbrushed, designed by sculptor Glenna Goodacker, the same artist who gave Sacagawea her warm, serene, historically accurate face. Goodacker insisted on a real Native American model, a Shoshone-Bannock woman named Randiel Hidao Teton, because representation matters. And look at those cheekbones, that patient smile. This is not a warrior's scowl. This is the face of someone who survived because she knew how to bend, not break. But oh, the drama that followed this coin's birth. When the mint released the Sacagawea dollar in 2000, They made a big, noisy, hopeful gamble. They wanted it to replace the paper dollar, to save taxpayers millions, to finally give America a beautiful, durable golden coin. And the public? They loved the design. They wept over the story. But then, same curse as the Anthony. It looked too similar to the quarter? No, actually, it was the size and color confusion with the Canadian loonie. The real villain was the vending machine lobby, which refused to upgrade, and the dollar bill, which Americans refused to let die. So by 2002, the Sacagawea dollar was reduced to niche collector sets and casino slots. Your 2000p is from that first, optimistic, heartbreak-filled year. Over 767 million were minted in Philadelphia, so it's not rare. But here's the secret. Some of them have a special wounded eagle error on the reverse, where the eagle's belly looks torn. If you see that, you've struck gold, literally worth thousands. Feel the texture. It's a smooth, golden alloy called manganese brass, 77% copper, 12% zinc, 7% manganese, and 4% nickel, which gives it that warm, never-tarnished glow. Edges plain, no ridges, so it glides through your fingers like a river stone. Weight, 8.1 grams, just a whisper heavier than the Anthony. And that little P, right next to the date, means Philadelphia gave birth to this specific piece. But here's a twist. In 2000, the Mint also made some with a special Goodacre finish for a commemorative set, where the fields are mirror-like and the portrait seems to float. Your regular circulation strike is still a treasure, though, because every time you hold it, you're holding the only U.S. coin that features a real Native American woman with her actual child. No myths. No generic Indian princess. Just a mother and her baby, who survived freezing rivers, grizzly bears, and starvation, and then vanished into history at age 25. No one knows exactly when or how she died. Let this sink in softly. Sacagawea never saw a penny of credit. Lewis and Clark got fame, land, and government pensions. She got a brief mention in their journals, and then decades of silence. But in 2000, Congress finally said, "We owe her more than a footnote." So they put her on a dollar, and they made sure she was not alone. Her baby is on the coin too, tiny and bundled, because the wilderness is no place for a child, and yet she carried him through hell anyway. Every time this coin passes from hand to hand, it passes that story of a girl who guided white men across her stolen homeland, held her tongue, and dreamed of the Pacific. The reverse eagle, by the way, was later replaced in 2009 with a series of Native American designs, corn, horses, treaties. But the original 2000 Flying Eagle is the purest, the simplest, the one that says, "Freedom takes flight when we honor the forgotten." So where is this coin now? Collectors hunt for high-grade 2000p Sacagaweas, especially those with the P mint mark sharply defined. The average circulated one is worth exactly $1, but don't you dare spend it. Tape it to a journal page. Slide it into a locket. Give it to a young girl and tell her, this is what courage looks like. Because the drama, the viral heartbeat of this coin, is not in its rarity. It's in the way Sacagawea stares past the rim, past the metal, past 2 centuries of erasure, and whispers, "I was here. I carried a nation on my back. And now I rest in your palm, golden and unbroken." That's not just a dollar. That's a prayer, a protest, and a promise, all in the shape of a mother who never stopped walking. God bless her, and God bless every quiet, fierce woman who still does the same today. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel.